Hey, welcome back, everybody. My name's Austin.
My name's Aaron.
I was like, who's going to go? I'm Johnny.
And this is Surviving Hollywood Podcast. Big episode today, right, guys?
Big episode.
I mean, big, small, does it really matter?
Johnny, who's the guest?
Nobody. You know what? The audience is the guest. The audience is the guest because they are the most important guests in the world, right?
I mean, they're truly why we do this.
Over 1,000 on YouTube.
Over 1,000 on YouTube. Big deal. So we wanted to do sort of a just us, just the hosts episode. And we took some questions from the audience, 4 or 5. We're going to answer them. These two have never seen the questions before. But before that, let's just talk about like the state of Hollywood, because there's minimal auditions. I mean, Aaron and I went on a few, but Johnny, what's the state of Hollywood from your point of view?
State of Hollywood, man, it's crumbling. No, man, you know what's weird because, well, actually I did have an audition last night. I had a VO audition for like a scripted series, SAG scripted series. So I'm wondering,
a ton of VO.
I know, but I mean, like, it's cool because that's what might be the new norm. You know what I mean? Like with that, you can at least work and you don't have to worry about COVID because it's just like you by yourself essentially, or like maybe an engineer. So I just had an audition for that. And then I'm doing these audiobooks, dude. Do you ever think about reading books?
You do it for like 8 hours a day?
My God, dude. I just read this 500-page book. Actually, today's my last day, and then I have 3 more days for a different book. Man, it is... Whew. I've never read a book that long in my entire life, guys. 500 pages. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of brutal, honestly. But anyway, state of Hollywood.
Hey, just one more thing for the folks at home. For the folks at home, how much do you get paid for doing an 8-hour day of VO?
Okay, so SAG. So all these audiobooks are union. It varies per book, but basically they pay you by finished hour. So what that means is that, like, let's say for example, the book I'm doing now is 500 pages. It comes out to 28 hours of audio. So essentially 28 hours of finished audio is what you get paid for. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to do it, essentially, like how many hours you're physically there. It's how many actual finished hours of audio. So this is all new to me, so I'm learning it. But SAG pays you about 225 per finished hour. So basically 28 times 225.
Damn, dude, lunch is on you.
Damn, hey, I'm not getting that was it Symetra money?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Dude,
Hey,
why
man,
can't
come
our
on,
guests answer like that? John, you're always asking our guests how much you get paid for something like that.
Because I know, why don't they like talk about it, dude? It's like, what's the big deal? It's
Those
all
are the kind of answers we want.
I mean, that one pays well, but like, I mean, I feel like they're going to probably be far few in between, but I don't know. But anyway, it's a lot, dude. I thought it was going to be like more cakewalkish, but nah, not really. Like the first day, like literally coming home, I felt like I couldn't even open my mouth. My throat was like so hurting. And the guy was like, I think you should go home because like your throat is going to be like wrecked by tomorrow until you get used to it.
Feel like that happened to me.
Do you try and like talk from your belly more and drink honey or something?
I mean, I had like the studio where I shoot at. It's kind of cool because it's actually inside of a big house in the valley, but every room is a studio. And in the kitchen, they have like a full spread for everybody there. And they've got like apples and tea and coffee and all that stuff. So I was drinking like a shit ton of tea. Dude, it only does so much. You know what I mean? It's like, how many cups of tea can you have? You know,
another bathroom break. Jeez.
So you try to like, obviously kind of like, talk differently when you're doing it, but then they're like, hey, you're sounding different. You need to kind of go back to where you were doing, or like you made this character sound like this. So you have to try to make it sound like that. Like, oh dude, it's intense, but thank God I'm working on something. But anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Best part of the drive home.
Right? It is actually. State of Hollywood, dude. Let me ask you guys this, because I was actually thinking about this, and I've had this discussion with a few people. So right now, as we know it, to this day still, Hollywood is considered the mecca of the industry, right? Like, It's like it all happens here. People from all over the world want to move here, right?
Number 2 is Bollywood, but number 1 is Hollywood.
Is it really? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, do you think that after all this is said and done, it will still be that way? Like, or do you think it's possible where you could actually like be like, no, I'm just going to move to Portland or something and live there and just self-tape because everything's going to be self-tapes from now on? Like, what do you think?
I see.
I think that like separating the United States from Europe or Bollywood or whatever, like one of the US's big major exports, so to speak, is still going to be entertainment, meaning it's not going to go to Britain and it's not going to go to Australia, even though they have their own stuff going on there. But in terms of, is it going to stay in Hollywood in Los Angeles for the US? I mean, we already saw sort of it fragmenting before COVID. Now, if you shoot in Texas or Atlanta or whatever, I think they are a little more lax on the rules because they're a little bit more conservative instead of liberal. So I think we're watching a trend towards that direction.
So, I mean, that's the question. It's like, do you think that, like, let's say a couple of years from now, we're going to have to still live here? Like, would it make more sense to like, okay, I'm going to move to New Mexico. I'm going to buy a house there as opposed to renting and paying a shit ton of rent here. And actually have like a good place over there and then audition from there. And if they want me in LA, I'll just fly to LA.
I think that could possibly happen like generations down the line, but I don't know about
generations.
Yeah, like that's gonna
like 100 years.
Yeah, like ripple. Like here's the thing: as soon as like most like half the population are like maybe like older dogs, they want to go in and shake somebody's hand, they want to see people.
But do you think that? But do you think
they force you?
They want to talk on the phone. Like, well, who are you? Yeah, but do you think that like that's going to be a thing still? You know what I mean? Because like,
I think half the population, when there's a cure, will go like want to do that.
What if there never is a cure? Let's say there. I mean, we don't have a cure for the flu. If there's never a cure for this, what happens?
Then the people who don't want to do that will eventually die out.
So of COVID,
I think because they're not going to wear a mask.
I think if you're serious about acting, like a little step above everybody else, you will still move to the major markets, which are LA, maybe Atlanta, New York, because even though they're shooting more and more in Texas and Atlanta, they cast all the series regulars out here. I can't see them changing that.
But they're all going to be all self tapes though. Is what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to pose.
I know.
They cast out of LA for those roles, right? But you're never going to see a casting office. So how do they know what you are?
You can't really rape a young Scarlett, virtually. Just kidding.
You've just been canceled, buddy.
Whoa!
Just trying to make a joke.
I don't.
We're gonna turn this clip into like a highlight, and we're gonna like promote it so that way you do get canceled. Actually, don't get canceled then.
Just saying the value the in-person contact. That's all I'm saying.
What do you think?
I do think there is a value, but I just don't know if it's gonna be the same or exist. Anyway,
I mean, Aaron and I just did a self tape where we told them, "Hey, we're local hires in Austin, Texas." So we lied. So maybe I don't know what that says, but
it says that like, hey, what do you mean you need a flight in a hotel? I thought you were a local.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Anyway, that was just a question. I was kind of been pondering that if it's going to be a thing. Cause like, imagine like you never have to leave your apartment to audition anymore.
I'm just going to speak for me personally. I am not moving out of Los Angeles. And the reasons I would be if I booked a series or maybe something that kept me somewhere for 2 or 3 or 4 months. That would be a reason to move there. And then I would seriously consider it. But generally speaking, man, I'm already here. It's like, what am I going to move again?
I mean, I hear Ohio is pretty nice. I don't know.
It's
the best.
I freaking love Ohio.
Anyway, let's get to this Q&A. Yes?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We asked some audience members. I have 5 or 6 questions.
Are these YouTube commenters or?
Maybe 1, but majority.
Or Instagram. I know a lot of people
Facebook
get at us through Instagram.
So many people reach out through Instagram. Let me just pose one of the questions. Okay. I mean, some of them maybe are dumb, but this first one's okay. How do you play a love scene? I'm in a theater production and I'm the lead and I need to fall in love with the main person. And I've never been in love in my own life. So how am I supposed to fake or be that on stage? I would love some advice.
Didn't somebody ask this question last time?
Last time a year ago?
I don't know. This feels like this is like a common question every time.
I don't know. It feels kind of
Go watch the old videos, guys.
This wasn't one of the dumb ones?
All right. Who wants to go first?
She's basically asking, how do I act? Right?
It could be a guy.
Essentially.
Well, if you've never felt an emotion in real life, how are you supposed to fake that?
Well, I've never killed anybody either, but I got to pretend too, right?
That's what I was going to say.
Is it a love scene? Like, are they making love, or is it just like a...
My interpretation was that they're the leads.
Like a meet cute could be.
Well, I think they have to carry the whole possibly play or whatever.
Yeah, but it's just for like... The scene is just acting. It's not like a sex scene.
They didn't say. I picture this as a young Lin-Manuel Miranda asking in his recent production of Hamilton.
Okay, you want to take it? Go ahead.
How are you supposed to do it? I would say, I guess you would just answer the same questions that you would answer, generally speaking, like in that love is like way too broad, but in that specific scene, what do you want? Maybe you can't play love, but you can play, I want a kiss from this girl or whatever. And what are you going to do to get there? Not rape her, but maybe I'll, show her, maybe I don't know, an actable verb.
Okay.
I didn't have an answer.
Is that your actable verb?
Pet, like Lenny from Mice of Men,
Okay.
Nurture.
To stroke.
I think just
easy, buddy.
Open communication with the director and your scene partner, and make sure you guys are like cool working together. Make sure it's a good relationship. And
yeah, I think go hang out, man. Go do something together.
Maybe that could be
get a feel for each other.
What if he or she tries too hard? Oh, it's a guy, and then the main girl starts thinking he's creepy.
Well, and then you know what? This shows it's not going to be good. It's just you can't win them all. You can't win them all, right?
Yeah, just if she was trying too hard, she made a mistake or whatever.
My question is, what live performance is going on right now?
That's what I was about to say too. Play?
Theater.
Hey, these are real questions. I'm just asking them.
Actually, Yuval, you guys remember Yuval, the director?
Yeah.
He called me a couple days ago and he told me he's directing a play right now, actually. But the play is all through Zoom.
Interesting. So
I admire that. It's,
Is it like how I'm sure there's a lot of timing with like who pops up on the screen?
I mean, it's the same as Hamilton, right? I mean, it's just like you're watching it on a screen. No, not the same thing? Okay.
All right.
Hamilton was good.
4 more questions to go, and to our audience at home, comment down below if you have another question for a future episode. Okay, question number 2. I feel like no auditions will be opening up anytime soon. I'm in a major market. I look at the Duplass brothers, and I see maybe my only route is creating my own content.
That's all you got?
What are your thoughts, and how would you recommend I do it? Signed, Terry. Okay.
Yep, I would do it. I would get a concept, beginning, middle, end. Get a camera, get a lavalier, get a scene buddy, make a scene.
Get a scene buddy.
Okay.
Scene buddy. I get a bathroom buddy too.
Aaron, do you mind if I challenge you on that?
Yeah. Okay. I can handle it.
I was just reading recently how to debate, and they would say, ask them. And then nobody's going to say no. Like, how come are you doing that? Like, let's relate it to our own personal lives. Like, just getting a partner is what is going to get them to the next level in their career.
I didn't know I had to be doing it to answer, but I thought that would be like the best practice.
Yeah, you don't have to, but get a buddy and do a scene. It's like, let me go.
It's just one way to go.
Johnny just hit us up almost in a feat of desperation and said, guys, we need to make a feature.
It's true.
And we all related to that desperation.
So my guitar. All right. Yeah. So,
yeah, that was my throat.
Were you teeing me off? Yeah, I think Yeah, I mean, you have to obviously. I mean, okay, this is the thing: is like making stuff has always been like sort of like the golden ticket, if you want to say.
If you're good.
If you're good, right? I mean, it's really difficult to make something amazing, right?
Or Tommy Wiseau.
Or you make something so shitty that people are just like, wow.
It becomes good.
Right. Cult following. But it's always been like the way that, you know, even before COVID, you had to be trying to make stuff like we were already in that mindset. But now, because there's like no auditions and there's like no work, I feel like you definitely have to at least be writing maybe. If you're trying to kind of get ahead, I think a good thing to do right now is be writing something that you can shoot once things are normal. Or if you're feeling bold, just shoot it now. But this was the question that I was talking to Austin about earlier, is that a buddy of mine who's a director that I worked on a show with him years ago, hit me up on Instagram, and because he saw that I was directing Happy Ending during COVID. And the only reason we were able to do that was because it was already union when we started it, and we started it pre-COVID, and we only had 2 days left, which fell into COVID. And so we're just like, well, let's just get together.
Aaron, do you know Happy Endings?
That's that thing that you did?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I had a small cameo.
What do you mean? What are we talking about? Did you turn a snack into a meal?
Hey.
But anyway, so we finished that, and then my buddy hit me up and he's like, hey, how did you direct a project right now that's union? And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, I'm trying to set up to do another short that's union, and the guidelines that SAG has imposed are insane. And he's like, I can't afford it. There's just like so many things I have to do and provide that it's like, it's actually turning into a huge headache. And he's like, I'm thinking about now I'm just doing it non-union, which means I'm going to lose all my actors. But honestly, it's probably worth not having to deal with all the stipulations I got to deal with, you know? So it makes me wonder now, like, are these projects you create by yourself, or these like, you know, SAG ULBs or these indie projects going to struggle during COVID and after COVID to try to be created? Because like, I mean, now if SAG is imposing all these guidelines that are difficult to attain.
What were some of the restrictions?
I don't know specifically what all of them were, but I know for one, you have to have a COVID compliance officer on set now, which is a new position, and the person has to be trained into whatever that is.
What the hell?
And they have to, I guess they have to actually test every single person on set. And my guess is you have to also provide testing for every single person as well, which I think is, you know,
sounds like that's going to be damn near impossible for the smaller guy to do.
Well, that's why he was like, dude, I'm not going to make it a union project anymore. I'm just going to be non-union because like this is, and all his shorts before that were all union. So
maybe you could lie about it.
You could, but I don't know. I mean, they might have to require that you provide a lot of paperwork.
Nah, nobody's going to lie. Nobody's going to lie.
I don't know. So it might be a little more challenging now to create at least something that's union now. I mean, anybody could go shoot anything and just make it non-union, but we do things right here. We do things the right way.
Our projects have always been SAG. So, hey, if we make another one, we're paying for that person. We wouldn't want to.
I would. Obviously. Well, COVID is a serious thing.
Yeah.
Trumper.
But hey, what I was saying is
30% of the country like him.
Every time you always say half. Now it's 30. What happened? Is the poll going down? What's going on?
That's what I heard.
But the people buying or where ultra low budget stuff would appear, it's like Sci-Fi Channel, Lifetime. They do this ultra lows, modifies stuff, YouTube, and then film festivals, which maybe would get picked up to a Netflix type thing. It's like, the production, if it was 100%, if it was 100 a year before, what are 50 people going to do it in the next year?
Did you guys see
this viral video comedy about these two guys in blue shirts, one wearing a woke shirt and one wearing, the other guy's like a racist or something. And the sketch is all about how woke people and racists really like want the same thing.
No, I didn't see that. Was that a YouTube sketch or what?
Yeah, it was like a YouTube sketch. Could be considered ultra low budget, you know. It could.
Was it union?
You could probably not, but you could like submit that to a film festival.
But in my opinion, those things are still going to do it because us three can make one of those with a table, whatever, or in a car, wherever it was. But everything else that would be maybe on Lifetime or whatever, the C-list actors are now going to be taking those lesser roles because there's less roles out there. And then where does that leave the next Splitting Image?
Now it's time to get on that Asylum, train.
And John, you have connections over there.
Get on that non-union train, man. Non-union features that don't pay you much. But
do you follow Scotty Mullen still?
Oh, yeah, dude. I love Scotty. Scotty's the man.
Yeah,
get him on as a guest.
Yeah, actually, you know what? He would be a great guest. Not only is he a writer, he's a fantastic casting director. Actually, I actually don't think he's doing casting anymore, to be honest. I think he's just writing.
But he is. You
guys have met him, right?
Yes. I went to one of the premieres for Zootopia with you.
He doesn't know me.
But Zoomies. Or Zombies. That's what it was.
And I saw him speak, and he just you could tell he was proud to be premiering this movie because he was all about I forget exactly what he said, but I didn't like my life. I didn't like my job. I decided, you know what? I just need to go for it. I want to make a name for myself in this industry. And I just started writing, and I sold my first script, and I kept doing it again. And he has a, inspiring story.
I mean, I think he always wanted to be a writer. So I think he fell into the casting thing, and I think he's done with it now. I mean, I think that's what he posted on social media, but I don't remember. But yeah, he's a good dude, man. He's a good dude. Hey, good for him. I mean, you write a movie, now it's on screen. That's cool.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So final thoughts for that audience member is, I guess, Noah Scotty Mullen, or
I'd say my final thoughts, I believe in you.
Hey, we would
go make something, whether it's union or non-union, just go make it.
I think Surviving Hollywood Podcast would love a little follow-up pup on that. If whatever you do, let us know, and then we'll shout it out to the community.
There you go.
Okay, next question. This is titled, COVID was the best thing that ever happened to my career. All right. I am a recurring guest star on a popular show right here in Los Angeles. I started dating a fan who was an extra on set, and things got a little crazy. She got I can't read it, updated. She was back for more episodes, and things got a little clingy, and it was the worst mistake of my life choosing to date an extra on set. Would you date a fan? And if you're trying to get away from that, what advice would you give me? Daryl.
Would you date a fan is the question.
Would you date a fan? And what advice do we have for him?
Was the extra a fan of his, or just liked him because he was number one on the call sheet?
I think, what's the difference?
Well, was she a fan of the show, or did she just like the fact he had power?
I mean, we need more information.
Do we know that she's actually just in it for, to try to get ahead?
My take on that question was,
that's
why she's clingy. She's like, hey, introduce me to the EP.
Well, because it didn't sound like she was a fan. I thought she just wanted to how anybody would want to talk to the director or something, or the hot lead or any lead.
My take on that question was that this dude started sleeping with an audience, with a extra, and then she started doing, the cliche weird shit, not leaving him alone, not letting it break up, and now he's in this predicament where I have to work with him. I have to work with her because she keeps being in the scene.
That seems like the real question. Not would you date a fan? How would you deal with
would you personally?
Now that I have that history with the girl, what do I do?
Stage 5 clinger.
So, Johnny, why don't you take this one?
Well, you didn't even answer the question, but
no, I'm saying why don't you take? Yeah, I know you start.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, why not? I mean, if you like them and they're cool, but not obviously if they're like a stalker, no. But I mean, I think the thing goes whether you met them at a bar or you met them on set. If you find that person attractive, if you're oh, she's really good looking or whatever, and she's cool, why would you not date them? I mean, I guess you would also think that it would be weird because you work together, but in my head, I'd probably think well, she's an extra. She's probably not going to be here forever. You know what I mean?
And he could have her gone in a minute.
Yeah. You think oh, she's here for 1 or 2 episodes and then she's gone. You know what I mean? It's not like you're I wouldn't think you'd see her every day, but
I think you would risk her becoming like a prominent extra. Sometimes they have those.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that's what happened in this situation. Yeah, that does kind of suck. Actually, you don't really want that. That's no good.
For me, I mean, what the hell? Why did we get into this business if not to date the fans? It's like, why not make that a rule? Exclusively do it.
Man or women.
Is that a Weinstein quote or
more man or woman? No, you don't force these girls. But my God, if they're willing to worship you, marry that chick because that's going to work out.
Yeah. Okay. So Austin supports it. Say, hey, it's all good. I agree. 2 consenting adults. I just sit her down and be like, listen, I'm on set now, so you and me don't exist. And then maybe we'll talk about it afterwards.
And then why don't you go back to high school?
Because you're the high school extra in the scene.
There you go. I like it.
You know, it's awkward though. Like at when you're cut or something between setups, then you start talking to a different group of extras, and then she gets jealous. It's like, I have to keep talking to this extra.
They're all just talking to you so they can try and get a bump or something.
That's usually what it is. They just want to get a line, right?
And then I'm going to disregard that, but part 2 of the question: how do you get rid of a stage 5 clinger?
I don't know. I've never had one, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and you can't just sit them down. That doesn't work. Just saying, we're done, donezo.
Could Vince Vaughn just sit down, the redhead and Wedding Crashers, and say that?
I mean, if Isla Fisher was, clinging to me, I'd be cool with that. So I don't know.
Because I'd find you.
That is one of the best parts.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, what if you sit down with that person and then you're like, hey, you know what? It's not working out. It's done. And they're like, no, I disagree. It's not.
I think you can just like get very cold and very hard and be like, this isn't working anymore. I don't know.
And she's like, I don't care.
Very direct.
I don't care what you do or who you see. We're still together.
Yeah, I don't know. If somebody's just direct with somebody else, how can we're going to be forced to just move on, right?
It's like you break up with her, but then her career takes off. And you're like,
should have stayed.
I think we answered that question.
Good enough.
I mean, we've asked all you know what? I think from our audience, we need a better crop of questions. I'll ask it, but I'm not going to enjoy asking it. I'm not going to enjoy seeing your reactions to this question. And if you guys are angry, then take it out on the fans. Don't take it off on me. Okay?
There were no smart questions or not a lot?
I mean, I asked it very last minute. So
the smart people probably not going to answer till tonight.
Hey, exactly. What is your biggest pet peeve in the audition room?
That's our question?
Yep.
What type of audition room? Because if it's like one that it's like second round, different pet peeves than like first round where it's closer to like a cattle call and they don't actually they just treat you like they just want to move on. That's a peeve.
I mean, this is not an open call. Let's just say it's a co-star. First round.
Yeah, I don't like that. Well, I don't like when they stop you too early. It's like, I'm in here for like 45 seconds and I'm already done. Like let's say you had at the end, you're going to have like a dramatic pause, then the last line or something, right?
Any good storyteller would make the end one of the best parts.
And then all of a sudden they think that you forgot the line because you're taking too long to say the line. So they're just like, hey, the line is this. And you're just like, I know. I know. I'm getting to that. I'm trying to actually act. Let me act. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
I agree with that.
I don't like when they ask, because everybody does this. Do you have any questions?
What if you have a question?
Well, then I'll bring it up. But generally speaking, I think
they're not just going to wait for, guess how much? Okay, well, it's past 10 seconds.
I would much rather be like, hey, how you doing today? Or something that's not,
It's very conflicting when those guys are like very just saying the same thing. Saying the same thing over and over again. And they're going quickly and they're not like waiting. So they got to say, any questions? Otherwise they just steamroll over you until you're ready. And just often that's the case, I think. not all the time.
What do you usually say? Like, well, I'm just wondering, like, how do you want this? I can do it any one of which ways. I can do it this way, that way, this way. What do you want me to do?
Well, the one question I used to ask is, hey, any I mean, this is a dumb question, but I don't know. I sometimes would ask.
How was your weekend?
No. I would say, yeah. Hey, any traps like I should know about, because they've been seeing the same type of thing every day.
Traps
all morning.
Okay.
And
they're like,
what do you walk into a castle? What are you doing? What is this?
This guy's an intellectual.
And every single time they would be like, no, let's just do one.
No, it's a pesticide commercial. Let's just say the lines.
No, it's a one line, buddy. Think you can handle it? So then I just say, no, let's try one. So then I say that. No questions. Let's just try one.
I mean, yeah, usually when they say that, I'd be like, no, seems pretty straightforward. If there's something, just let me know.
I can tell you guys are pissed at this question, and I want you to know it.
I liked it.
I think it's a funny question.
I enjoyed it.
It's a fair question. I think it's a fair question, right?
It needs to be answered.
Well, we got one more.
All right.
Hey, rock and rolling it through these.
Austin's leaving space open for if we have some questions.
Actually, no, that was it.
Oh, okay.
That was it?
Yeah, I only had 4, I guess.
Kind of anticlimactic.
Next time they ask you, hey, do you have any questions? You should be like, are you ready to be amazed? And then just go right into it.
I dare you to do that, Johnny.
Maybe if we ever have in-person auditions again. So,
dude, would you really do it?
I don't know. Maybe it depends on the moment and the mood.
Because you could do it like, I don't know, but it's got to be. And
it's like that one dude from Breaking Bad, and he's also on Billions. Brian Koppelman's buddy. He's an actor. I don't know if you guys know him.
Brian Koppelman.
Well, I know Brian Koppelman.
Who's that?
He the writer of Rounders. And on his podcast, he had his buddy on. They went to school together, went to college together. And that dude is like the only actor he knew in college that he actually thought was good.
I know what you're talking about.
And he said after every audition in the room, he would say, when they say, oh, thank you, he would just say, delicious. And he would just walk out. And he was like, that was my thing. Every time after every single audition, I would do it. And I would just say, delicious.
The actor or Brian?
The actor.
He often plays a curmudgeon, right? Kind of like
on Breaking Bad, he was like kind of like a nerdy scientist guy. Right. And then on Billions, he's kind of this. I mean, I haven't really watched Billions that much, but I think he's like a hedge fund dude or something.
Yeah. Wait, this is that black guy?
No, I forgot his name. He's been in a lot of stuff.
I've watched Breaking Bad. I thought he was like the main bad guy.
No, he was like the scientist that was working with
curly hair?
That dude.
The guy who cried with Aaron Paul? And spoiler alert.
And he ends up getting killed. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, that guy was so good. That guy is a good actor.
He's friends with Brian Koppelman, and he's Koppelman's giving him a bunch of roles because like he's like, oh, you're the only guy in college I thought that was good.
Cool.
But he always says delicious, dude. I thought that was kind of weird. It's also kind of like, I don't know, it's a thing.
I mean, it's like a catchphrase comic or something.
It just might be taken the wrong way now,
that guy's pretty passive, I'd say. I never thought of him as a sexual deviant. But I guess he could be one. Yeah, he could be one.
But you say that and they're like, excuse me? And it's like, no, that's just for me. Why would you say that? I don't know. Anyway, what was the question?
What are some good movies coming out like?
Do we have a question? Was that the last question? Are we done?
Yeah. Austin built it up, made us all go, yeah. Then he's like, oh, never mind. I don't have any.
I thought about for half a second because I left the space. Maybe you guys would start talking and then I could kind of maybe think of one. But I was we're not going to lie to our audience like that. We're going to keep it real.
Any good movies to look forward to?
Tenet.
Tenet?
Tenet, the new Chris Nolan, but it got delayed again. It was supposed to come out this month, I think.
What's that about?
It looks, I don't really know exactly, but
nobody knows.
It looks like he can like sort of like bend time or something.
A black British lead. So no longer is it the same actors, new actor.
Black British? No, it's Isaiah Washington.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he's not British. It's Denzel Washington. That's Denzel Washington's son.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
I mean, right. Robert Pattinson, There you go.
I didn't know it was Denzel's son.
Denzel Washington is as American as it gets.
Who you know?
I mean, there could be more American, but he's pretty American.
Chris Evans is Captain America.
Bill Murray.
True. Chris Evans.
Yeah. Anyways.
Well, that's the only. Have you guys seen any movies? Because did you guys see that new Will Ferrell Eurovision?
I did.
I watched like the first 20 minutes.
Thought it was the stupidest thing.
The first 30 minutes were very dumb. It got better if you stuck around, but it's no Talladega Nights.
It's, oh my God. I mean, there was a couple funny parts, but like there was so many people were hyping it up. They're like, oh, you got to see this movie. It's so good. And like 15 minutes in, I'm like, this movie sucks.
You guys know that competition's a real thing.
Is it real?
I think I looked it up.
It's real. To me, it looks like America's Got Talent-esque thing with a lot of variety acts, but it was like a little bit darker just from like more burlesque from what it seemed like in the trailer. So I don't really know, but it's like America's Got Talent.
I just want to say about that movie, Rachel McAdams, I thought did great. I thought Will Ferrell did his usual great. Will Ferrell,
yeah, he's the same. Normal.
But
to me, that movie was just Blades of Glory in Iceland. That's basically
Blades of Glory.
Blades of Glory is a good movie.
Yeah, it is. This one was like the same premise, but
just like semi-pro.
They're singing now.
But I just want to say it was the writing that was where I'd
say Blades of Glory and semi-pro right here, and then Will Ferrell's best movies are like here, and then usual movies are here.
Fair enough.
And then this one was down there.
But apparently they've been working on that movie since like the 90s or something. Or he tried to get it made in the 90s, and I'm like, well, that comedy might have worked in the 90s. But that was a rough one, dude.
Will Ferrell was super broad.
Before the iPhone.
But I blame the writing.
I mean, I don't know. The Russian dude was funny. Dan Stevens.
Yeah, he was great.
He was pretty good.
That's what I'm saying. The actors were all great. It was just the writing.
It was just anyway.
Hey, in our final 3 minutes, what are we doing until we meet again? Johnny, what else you got going on this week?
What do you guys got going on? I'm just doing audiobooks, man. I'm doing an audiobook today, and then I got 3 more days in the studio next week, and then I'm doing a tennis thing tomorrow, tennis channel. So I'm still working, guys. Still working.
I looking forward to see what happens next on Red Table Talk.
You looking for an entanglement or what?
Do you say that ironically, or are you really gonna watch?
Let's see what happens. Let's see if they reveal something else that makes news, Kardashian style.
Actually, I got a couple things for you guys. Did any of you guys see that Kanye thing yesterday?
I saw the clip.
Oh my God, what is going on, man?
I honestly think he can't win, and he's not even on the ballot for all states. So it's just that publicity stunt.
I mean, he clearly has like a mental health issue. I feel like. I mean,
he makes musical genius, Johnny. Would you say?
Yeah, totally. And when it comes to music, that guy's incredible.
He changed the game.
Absolutely, I completely agree. But when in terms of just sanity, I think he's got some problems that he needs to work on. You know, I feel bad for him. I really, because I'm a fan, but like. Man, yeah. I just makes you cringe, man.
It's weird because like his support system is just all Kardashians. Like his mom died, right, years ago, and that's when he got a little crazier. It's like they just care about publicity. So, are they really helping him? Is he getting help?
Yeah, that was just such a weird looking rally. He was like wearing like a vest or something, looked like a bulletproof vest or something.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to like make. Like, how some people wear like a black shawl or like a black thing, whatever, to make him look like a judge. And it's like, oh, this person wants people to think he looks judgely. Or some people wear like a white coat to look like a doctor. I feel like Kanye wore that vest because, this guy's like a commander in chief.
Okay, maybe that's what he's going for. I don't know. It was weird. Anyway, what are you guys thinking about Nick Cannon? How you guys feeling about that?
I did not see that clip, but he said something about the Jewish people.
Yeah, I mean, he was saying some. The thing is that I don't know if I fully don't know the history for me to be able to comment on it, like what he said compared to what is the reality and stuff like that. But he was saying some anti-Semitic things.
But what did he say?
He said something about, and this is something, I know this is like believe this is a conspiracy theory. I don't know exactly, so don't get mad at me, but that Africans or black people were actually the first Jews. So they're actually black Jews were the first, and they are the true Jews, the true Hebrews, essentially.
Oh my God.
And that's like, he's not the first person to say that. Like, apparently that's a
Who cares what Nick Cannon thinks on that?
I agree. I'm not even a Nick Cannon fan. You know what I mean?
Drumline. Now that we satisfied the Nick Cannon simps by bringing up Drumline.
But anyway, he obviously got pretty canceled. But I don't know. It's I mean, I can't comment on that because I don't really know enough of the history of like what. He's
whack. He's whack as a rapper. That's another.
I mean, he was always more of an improv
he's a host.
guy.
He's like a host improv dude.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even really say
he's good as a host.
Yeah, I can't remember who made a joke, and they were like, "Was it Mark Norman that said it? Somebody on IG said something about like the most offensive thing that I heard about Nick Cannon is somebody called him a comedian." You know, I think it was some comedian that said that. He's like, that was what I was most offended about. I don't remember who it was, but it's a crazy world, man. I'm tired of cancel culture, man.
Me too. I would rather just everybody speak their mind, no matter how how much, if it's racist, whatever. I'd rather have that person speaking. So
but you know what? Now that
good ideas can drown out the bad idees.
You saw the allegations of Joey Diaz on the Joe Rogan podcast from?
I didn't see that.
Somebody tried to have those clips surface, but nothing materialized, right?
Right. Exactly. It was Joey Diaz 10 years ago when he was like a guest on an early Joe Rogan podcast. Joey Diaz was saying that he took a girl.
It was just like a 15-second clip. You know how like hours they talk.
It took a girl up in the original room or some upper room in the Comedy Store, and this girl wanted to be sort of a comedian or something, and then she like went down on him, and Joey Diaz was like joking like, "Oh, I can get you on stage time or something." That's I'm paraphrasing, whatever.
And I think
Joe Rogan was laughing about it. It was like a joke.
I think he did get her like 15 minutes, nights she did that or whatever. But then Joey Diaz was like. But then, she just went back home to her folks when she realized she couldn't make it in Los Angeles or something.
Okay.
They laughed.
But my point was like now that everybody has their own audience and own platforms, there was no cancel culture for them because it's not like Joe Rogan's fans are going to stop listening to Joe Rogan or Diaz's fans are going to stop listening to his podcast. Maybe some are, but you can't cancel somebody who doesn't rely on you for.
Jimmy Fallon has a similar story he hasn't been able to tell.
That the blackface? Didn't he do blackface?
God, Jesus, man. Come on. Could he just, get back into society without having people remind, hey, remember when you did the blackface?
Well, no, that's my whole point is that like, obviously these are very bad things.
Wait, question.
Be done. Go ahead.
Was it really blackface?
Well, I actually don't remember the clip. It was like an SNL
Chris
thing,
Rock.
right?
It was Chris Rock. He was imitating Chris Rock.
That's what it was.
And he had a facial hair like Chris Rock, and his hair.
The question is, Chris Rock offended?
No, Chris Rock wasn't.
Then man, like.
But was he even doing blackface? Because he was doing an exact impression of Chris Rock, down to the haircut, the goatee, and his skin was black. It wasn't the blackface that stemmed from like the minstrel shows, which were a specific thing. The only reason I say that is because Adam Carolla was quoted as saying, Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, these guys didn't do blackface. They did specific people.
I agree with that. It's because if I do a stereotypical black guy impression right now, that would be racist. But if I do a specific black guy, then I'm just imitating that black guy.
So one is racist and one's not.
Like, let me do it on the Mexican culture, Johnny, and you tell me which one's racist. This is for education.
You won't offend me, so.
Hey, amigo, can I have a tamale? That's racist. But if I do a Johnny impression,
I think that offended Italians.
You sounded like a white dude like trying to order something at a taco stand.
And if I do a Johnny, hey, you sounded like a white dude trying to order a taco. It's not racist because it's about you.
But I sound normal though. I don't really have an accent, so it's different.
That was a racist comment.
Plus, you were doing like a first generation Mexican versus like a second or third.
There you go.
I didn't want to. I'm not going to go deep.
But no, I get it, dude. It's hard like you make one mistake in your life and literally you are completely destroyed. You know what
I can't wait till I get on SNL in 2 years and they pull up this clip.
That's what makes you think. Like every little thing you say, you're like, shit, did I say something that was bad?
Yeah.
But that is a platform they can cancel you from. Your own platform, they can't cancel you.
But other platforms that hire you based on that platform can cancel you though.
Well, like they won't.
Spotify could be like, hey, Rogan, it's not going to work.
That is true. But
you could go back to YouTube and still be fine, but they could be Spotify's like, hey, we don't want to be associated with you.
But somebody would not mind to have that Rogan audience, and even if it's not Spotify, it's somebody else.
Agree. Anyway.
But here's the thing. They canceled Roseanne just for tweeting something, which was kind of ambiguous, just a tweet. They canceled her. They fired her off the show. They changed the name of her own show that was self-named. But for like people like Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon, there's pictures of them doing blackface. They're still on the air. How is that? What's the standard? I'm not saying any of them should have got fired. Roseanne apologized. I'm just saying like what's the exact rule?
I don't know.
Boom.
Well, if you're a white man, it's okay. If you're a white woman.
All right, let's end this.
Anyway, what do you guys think? Let's hear from the audience.
Comment below.
Anyway, guys. So yeah.
every 1,000 new subscribers, we're gonna do an on our own host podcast.
When are we gonna be able to do this podcast in person?
I mean, we'll probably just keep doing this, right?
The only thing
when we can meet up, let's keep doing this.
The thing that's so much better about this is we all get the face shots. That's like the one major thing.
Dude, your ego, dude, is courageous.
Don't you think?
That's all you care about.
Yeah, I like it.
That's the only reason I would want to like maybe stay with this one.
Nobody likes to watch a wide, like the whole thing's in just a wide. Like this is, you get to see the eyes.
Well, yeah, but like people can just listen, you know?
That's true.
Our biggest audience is YouTube.
Really?
Actually,
now it seems like it is.
People always know our biggest audience.
We just actually, I don't know, John, if you saw that email, we just had a big number of downloads from
Podbean.
iTunes or Spotify. Yeah, Podbean sent an email.
What did it say?
Well, I didn't see
it.
Break
the news, dude. Break the news.
Okay. Hey, congratulations.
Have Johnny guess.
Johnny, how many? We're gonna end it here.
How many downloads did we get?
It says Podbean sent us an email today, the earliest morning. Congratulations on blank downloads on your podcast.
6,000.
And they sent us a sort of a random.
I'd say that's kind of close.
Was that right?
Aaron, do you know?
Yeah.
The answer is 5,000.
Okay. All right.
They gave us a badge if we want to put on our website. So
I probably would have guessed, like, if I didn't know, like 22,000 or like probably almost 100K.
Well, every time I upload the files, I see it says on there how many downloads I have. So I knew it was like 5 or 6 around there.
Cool. Why don't you tell somebody, dude?
I didn't think the YouTube was doing better. So
yeah, wait till we get 10.
You know what I mean?
10's the big number.
10's a good number. 10's a good number. Anyway,
if anybody hasn't rated us on iTunes, that would really help us out. 5 stars, obviously. And with that being said, see you guys next week.